Hey guys, this is Mark Hutten with AdultAspergersChat.com, and I wanted to talk to you briefly today about how to get your Asperger's partner to share the load. One of the things that I always run into when I counsel couples where one person has Asperger's syndrome and the other one is a neurotypical, usually it's the wife that's the NT and the husband that has Asperger's syndrome, is this problem of sharing responsibilities. It's often the case where the NT wife feels that she is taking the lion's share of the load and the husband is kind of slacking off. And that's very common, and those NT women that are watching this video, I'm sure you've experienced that. So you do want to allow your Asperger's husband, in this case, to take on some adult responsibilities, of course, even if he doesn't live up to your standards. It's not uncommon for the Asperger's husband to step aside and let you take over because you want things done your way. And this is not letting him grow up. Remember that Asperger's syndrome is a developmental disorder. And so he is literally underdeveloped in the social emotional department. In other words, his social emotional brain is immature relative to his chronological age. So if you insist on being the ultimate decision maker or judgment caller, he's probably going to shut down and you're never going to get it done. So he may struggle and even fail a few times, but that's a learning curve. So you definitely do want to impress upon him the importance of sharing responsibilities. And one of the things that you can do to help out with this is to create a visual cue, even a chore chart. Because people with Asperger's syndrome are very visual in a verbal world, and they do much better when they can see something that reminds them visually. And I know that chore charts and budget sheets sound very childish, but he may need a visual reminder. We all have information overload with too much to do and remember. You know, even neurotypical men do much better when they're handed a honey-do list. So if your Asperger's husband is tech savvy, you can have him enter items in his reminder app. Or you could actually create a chore chart, just like you would a child. And I know that that sounds ridiculous at some level, but it works. The reason I know it works is because I regularly recommend this. And, you know, most cases, the wife says, yeah, I'm getting a little more out of him now than I did before we had the visual. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind is to not ask him to do more than 1 or 2, 3 at the most things at a time, because part of the developmental disorder is he's not going to be able to retain a lot of information at one time. So I would encourage you to start with one thing. Tell him one thing that he can help you with and leave it at that. Unfortunately, many Asperger's men are genetically wired to reject lists. And if you're an NT wife, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If that describes your man, then don't give him a list of things to do. Now you might be thinking, what's the difference between a list and a chore chart? Well, the list is not particularly visual. I mean, I know you have to read it, but here's a list, so to speak, as compared to a chore chart. The other thing that would be helpful, when possible, is to let him decide the timeline. This may sound counterintuitive, but it works. Sometimes males need to feel like they're in control, even NT males. But the Asperger's brain, male brain, really feels like they need to be in control. And the minute they feel threatened, they flee, and you're never going to get the job done that you want him to do. If your Aspie takes off because he feels like he's lost control, it would be easier and a lot less painful to just go beat your head against a brick wall than to try to get him to complete the task. Now, some of you are thinking, well, if I let him have his timeline, it'll never get done. Well, I'm not talking about pushing the task 2 or 3 days out or next week. We're talking about a 24-hour timeline here. So you can say, you know, this is what I like for you, this is what I need you to do, and it doesn't have to be done, you know, immediately, sometime within the next 24 hours. If you could get that done, I'd appreciate that. So these are just a few little simple things. It's nothing profound here, nothing even new to you, but these are very important things to consider, and they're simple things, but sometimes the simple things are the best things. And there's a link below this video that will take you to an article where there's more information on how you can get your Asperger's partner to share the load. Okay? Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.